Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today I really need a haircut. As you can see, it's gotten quite long. Today I decided to cut it ASMR style and kind of talk through what I'm up to. I'm aiming to cut off most of the black dyed parts, and then of course I'm going to be bleaching my roots and re-dyeing it later. So here I'm just going to brush through it, make sure everything is ready for me to trim it. I'm not looking to do anything very fancy, just needs to be a little shorter. There we go, that's better. And I do like the noises this brush makes. Okay, so now I'm going to use these scissors and start trimming away my hair. I am not a professional hair person by any means, so you will see me hold the scissors completely incorrectly and just start kind of hacking away, but I always get the job done well enough, I think. Sometimes I do a better job than others, depends on how patient I feel like being. Not really going for layers today, just trimming up the ends. I have some shorter layers kind of near my face, but the rest is nearly the same length. So just, you can see I just took off a little bit from there just to even things up, and then I'm going to start blending those shorter bits in. Now I do want to take off a fair amount of length here, most of the part that I have dip dyed. I started by just gonna cut right across there, and then I'll go back in and make it not look so blunt. So here we go. It's always satisfying to cut off a big piece at once, I think. I'm sure I could have done it in a better way, but yeah. Quite a bit for my first cut there. And then I'll just do the same thing on the other side. Gotta get it just approximately even. I can always even it up later. As you can see, I'm not completely cutting off all of the black dip dye, but I did cut off the majority of the dip dyed part. Kind of feels like a paintbrush when you cut it straight across like that, I think. It's quite a chunk of hair right there. Well, anyway, let's move on. Just going to make the ends of my hair not quite so blunt. Again, I'm not looking to put a bunch of layers into my hair, so just going to brush through it one more time before I cut up into the hair a bit. I do get quite a few questions about maintaining hair health, especially when you bleach it as often or as light as I do. I do have a video all about that as well on my channel if you're interested. But I'm just going to be cutting up into the hair, just kind of making those ends less sharp, if that makes sense. I am directing some of the top hair a little bit more forward, so there will be a little bit of a shorter layer thing going on, but nothing too drastic. Especially in the winter, I find it's easier for me to not put as many layers in my hair, because I often put my hair in braids, and when I had my very layered hair of about this length, pieces would always stick out of the braids, and that was kind of frustrating. Just kind of cutting wherever I think it needs it, and I made sure to cut the big, like, straight across cut a little bit longer than I wanted, so when I go back in to even things out, I don't get shocked by the end result, you know? Maybe shocked was a bit of a strong word. I've had kind of all lengths of hair, so nothing would really shock me at this point, I guess. So every once in a while I'm just kind of shaking it out as well to see how the layers fall, as well as get rid of any loose hairs. Like, usually a few days after I cut my hair for the first time, just depending on how it dries, I'll notice little sections that I have to go back over just to make everything blend well, but figured I would show you the first attempt at a haircut. If you haven't noticed, I'm kind of a do-it-myself kind of person, especially when it's something that I can save money on. I started cutting my own hair quite a while ago. I want to say 8 years ago. Nothing too fancy, of course, but I've saved quite a bit of money over the years. Some haircuts I've done are better than others. Depends on how much patience I have, really. So when I do dye my hair this next time, I'm going to start by bleaching the roots and then toning them a bit, and then depending on how that turns out, I'll either tone them again or maybe add a little bit of my kind of silver mixture using the black dye and a little bit of purple and conditioner. I did pick up some Wella toners, but from the tests that I've done, they're still kind of blue toned, so might incorporate those in, might not. Depends, I guess. So you might have noticed that earlier my hairbrush was kind of full with hair, and I'm not being gross, but I do save that hair for like experiments with dye. so I can get the timing right or see specifically how the dye or bleach would react to my hair. I find it's just a lot easier than doing like a strand or patch test for me. Just a little, I guess, note as to why in my videos you see me just like apply it straight to my hair. Sometimes I do a little sample with hair from my hairbrush. I found that as this particular hair dye faded, though it is silver gray, the tips especially went kind of warm toned, like brownish. I guess going for more of a silver hair, I'd rather it be a lavender tone if possible. I guess I just prefer the look of silver to gray, but for some reason I don't really like the blue toned silver on myself, which is weird because I've had blue hair before, but I don't know. That's why I was not a fan of the Pravana recently. And it's unfortunate because I ended up ordering 3 whole tubes of that Pravana hair dye. Maybe someday I will use a bit of it. Maybe combined with some other dyes to even it out. Usually I watch TV shows or something while I cut my hair. I didn't realize how long it took when it's just me sitting there snipping away at it. But I think I got some decent ASMR type noises from it, so hopefully you enjoy that. It is kind of relaxing to listen to, I think. That is one of the things that I miss about doing my own hair, or I miss because I do my own hair. I don't really get that scalp massage, hair wash, type treatment, which coincidentally I think is when a lot of people kind of realize they have ASMR or they can experience it. Maybe that's why some hair cutting and brushing videos are kind of popular. Maybe eventually I'll switch up my haircut a bit. I've kind of had the silver and black thing for a while, so as it grew, I always knew I was going to, trim off the black portion after a while. But I hadn't really given much thought to what kind of a haircut I would do at that point. I'm still kind of undecided, but my hair was just getting way long. Despite the hair colors and stuff, I'm generally pretty low maintenance when it comes to actually taking care of my hair. Kind of helps that I don't really use hot tools ever, if I can avoid it. Occasionally I do have to dry my hair just a bit in the winter, or it would never get dry. But so that's partially the reason why I wanted it to go shorter now. Once it gets long, it's just a lot more maintenance and takes a long time to dry, especially in the winter. It's just easier to deal with too when it's shorter, less tangles and stuff. maybe if I did more with it, I'd like longer hair, like fancy hairstyles. But most days I just leave it down or put it in a bun or something. Or braids. I like to put it in like 2 braids. I do notice though, as my hair gets longer, and especially if I don't have very many layers in my hair, whenever I put my hair into a ponytail, it kind of hurts my scalp a little. Like, my hair is just like heavy. Even with like all the bleaching and putting layers in my hair and stuff, my hair has always been decently thick. When it was natural, like unchemically processed hair, my ponytail was always very thick and hurt after I had it in for a long time. I think eventually I will go back to short hair as well. Talk about easy maintenance. It just took me a long time to grow it out, so thought I would enjoy it for a little while before going back. My next step might be a long angled bob, maybe shoulder length or so in the back, and then just longer or just shorter than this length in the front. Not quite sure. I need to start browsing Instagram or something for some inspiration pictures. So as you can see, just kind of making a little bit of a shorter angled layer section there. And as I find like longer pieces, just kind of snipping them off. Those are the kind of pieces that I definitely go back later and clean up a bit. Depending on like how much hair was on one side of my face or another, it can look very different day to day. I try to do an off-center part, but my hair just wants to naturally have a center part, I guess. So, just gonna do that like hairdresser type thing where they try and match the different sides. Yep, that's about even. Yep, that's even. That's even. So I'm just gonna work on this side a little bit as well, separating out the shorter angled layer area. I was kind of losing patience at this time, so this side goes a little bit quicker. So I have, seen how you're supposed to hold the scissors, but I'm not too worried about it, I guess. Maybe eventually I'll learn better techniques, but works well enough, I think. I've also gone to some hairdressers who didn't quite understand what I was going for, and I think it's one thing if, you're cutting your own hair and you kind of mess it up or something, but when you go and pay money and then it still doesn't turn out how you wanted it, it's just not the most fun. So those longer pieces by my chin were actually my bangs. Not sure if you remember from some of my older videos, but I used to have bangs, short bangs up above my eyebrows. Sometimes they got really short, especially when I had that angled bangs. One section was above my eyebrow, and then one was like a couple centimeters long on the other side, and they kind of sloped down. I have been trimming those grown out bangs though as they grew out, and I've got hair everywhere, but I'll deal with that later. So as you can see, just finding little sections that need to be trimmed up now. Also, for a good portion of this video, I was cutting my hair by looking in the camera's pop-out screen, but then I remembered, oh, I can just like pull it in front of my face and cut it that way. So that was a bit easier as well. I had a mirror there, but not quite as easy to see, especially the smaller layers. Just gonna give it a little bit of a brush through. Yep, there we go. Makes it easier to see how the layers have been cut if you give it a brush every once in a while. I like the noise the bristles make against my hand. So here I could see some little uneven bits. And then I wanted some shorter parts right here. I don't usually have too much of a plan when I go in to cut my hair. I probably should think about it a little bit more beforehand, but you never know what a certain cut's going to look like for your face shape, so I tend to just kind of do it live. At this point I had realized I hadn't done very much to this entire section that was towards the back of my head. You can see it's still kind of blunt. And I always go back in later and do some more shaping as I feel it needs it, but try to do the bulk of the work in one go. I always think it feels like a paintbrush when I freshly cut it. I'm just kind of shaking it out, seeing what we've got going. I was kind of tilting my head so it looks uneven, but there you go. There was a section I didn't quite get to. think maybe I should get one of those hair razors that kind of takes some of the bulk out of hair. Might make some of the layers easier. I used to kind of do the razoring technique when I had really short hair, but haven't done it for a while. As you can see, the majority of my hair is kind of the same length still, but just blend it a little bit at the bottom. Maybe I'll go back in and have some shorter layers kind of on the top bit of my hair, if that makes sense, like the outer bits. As you can tell, I have all of the technical hair vocabulary knowledge. No, really I don't. And here I was getting kind of aggressive with it. I think I was just ready to be done messing with it, you know? I'm getting there. Also, if my hair seems a little bit oily in this video, it's because I was planning on bleaching it right after, so I like to not wash it for a day or two so that when I go to bleach my roots, it has a little bit of protection from the natural oils from the scalp. Additionally, sometimes I put conditioner on the parts of my hair that I don't want to bleach, so just thought I'd give it a little bit of a trim first. It's always easier to bleach my roots when my hair is shorter. Not so much getting in the way that you have to avoid. So I think that's about it. As you can see, not too much of a change up top, but definitely a weight off my shoulders. Just giving it a final brush through. It's a bit wavy from where I had it in a ponytail earlier. And I think typically I will wear it on a bit of a side part, but this is just how it dried today. So I hope you enjoyed watching and listening me cut my hair, and I will also be linking a non-ASMR video of where I bleach my roots and re-dye it, if you're interested in that, but warning, it is not ASMR. Hope you like this video, and I will see you next time for another ASMR style video, or not. Maybe you like my other ones too, where I just dye my hair and stuff. Thanks for watching. Bye!